topical discussion about quality education or education. And today I'm joined with a very new panel, and these are African leaders. We are live and direct from Washington DC at Marriott Hotel in USA. And before we go, let them first introduce themselves and their countries.
Hello everyone, this is Ezekiel Amagoronzio. I am from Mali. Happy to be here.
And which language is in Mali?
Mali is the French one. Mali is a French-speaking country.
Thank you for joining us from Mali.
Hello everyone, my name is Jay and I'm from Congo Brazzaville. In Congo we speak French.
Speak French, thank you.
Hello from Nigeria, I'm Melba, and in Nigeria we speak English.
In Nigeria speak English?
Yes.
Alright, thank you very much. I believe our viewers are following from all over the world, from Uganda and all African countries, even other people following from Europe. Our topic for discussion of the question is quality education, briefly. Now, most of us have a belief, or we think that education is quality education. And yesterday, one of the things that we ended by giving two types of education. Now, what they call quality education and quantity education. So, according to you, in our respective countries, what is there? Do we have quality education or quantity education? And if we are to reach the stage of getting quality education or quantity education, what should be done? Just at least in 1 minute, one minute. How do you understand quantity and quality? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Peter, for this question. There is a lot of difference between quantity education and quality of education. When we talk about quality, we talk about good education. We are not just talking about access, but we are talking about curriculum and how teaching is done, in classrooms. And when we talk about quantity, it is about just access to education. And in my country today, we are mostly working on the quantity education, because one of our former presidents has as philosophy, every village one school. That is what I'm talking about. So it is not,
This is not really enough.
this is not even enough, So in our country, we are more talking about quantitative education instead of qualitative education.
Okay, thank you very much. And that is Mali.
Yeah, that's Mali.
Thank you very much. And Jay, how is it done in
Congo
Brazzaville?
Yeah, and in Congo Brazzaville, everybody has access to education because it's free. But I don't think it's quality. I don't think it's quality. But there is some people like me. We are working to get quality education. Because I can give you an example in private school and public school. In my country, we get at least quality education in public school, because private school are making more business. They are not getting that quality, but there is some people that are working hard so that the kids can get good education, and even other people can get education. I'm working in women education because we get education at school, but we don't get that specific education as for women. We need to get women education, and I use entrepreneurship to educate women so that I'll get more results. Because sometimes when you educate, there is no result. You just educate and say, we just educate a lot of people, but we don't get results. When you do a quality education, you can see the result of it. That's what is actually.
Thank you very much. Meaning you are not seeing the needed result. Okay, thank you. Melva, give us your insights from the West Africa, Nigeria. Okay.
It's actually a very interesting.
Kindly move the ball, thank you.
It's a very interesting topic to talk about education, because education is usually overflowed.
Okay.
But then what's important is really not always talked about, which is the qualitative aspect of education. So most of our countries practice quantity. My understanding of qualitative education is one that's all-encompassing of skill and that is result-oriented. Now, a lot of people go to school, but they are not employable. You see a lot of it today at the session. We're talking about young people and unemployment. And I wonder why a person who assessed quality education will be waiting for government to employ them. A person who assessed quality education would have been able to have skills to it, so that whereas there are no job opportunities, they create one. That's what education is. So education that leads to learning is the one that I have quality. But in Nigeria, we have both.
Okay.
We have quantity education and we have quality education. But it depends on your money. So at the end of the day, it is the rich who can afford quality education in high-class, high-profile private schools.
Thank you. I think that was our next question and our final question about the quality education and the quantity education. The reason why we are using simplified words is even for a layman or a layperson outsider to understand the baseline of our discussion. Now, you have talked about that we have to in Nigeria. I believe you also have to in Malawi, also in Congo. Who are those people who qualify for the quality education, and who are those people who qualify for the quantity education? I think
I can start, yes.
You can start, yes.
Yes, okay, so I work in rural communities where I provide not just access to education, but build community resilience towards sustaining the literacy solutions that we provide, which is inclusive education and qualitative education. So at the end of the day, we have realized that the rural communities, of course, are mostly populated by those who are lower in the radar of social strata, who are unable to afford the quality education. So you said one village, one school, and I said it wasn't enough. Because one village, I don't know how it is in you, but mine is one community, one school. One community sometimes encompasses about 15 villages and only one school. So at the end of the day, the only other schools available are the low-cost private schools that are only there for business. So, and then they are not providing, sometimes you find one teacher teaching mathematics, English, and a lot of subjects. And some subjects missing. And these are people in West Africa we write WAEC. And these are people who will assess the same end of year WAEC, end of college or secondary school WAEC.
Like you named
alongside,
Uganda.
Alongside the other students who went to higher quality schools. The same questions are set for them, and then there is no equity. So the people who now assess the quality education are the people who come from the high class, high social strata, who are mainly the children of the leaders. That's the ones who remain in Nigeria, who do not go out of the country to study. So they assess the best of education, they come back and we see it's a trajectory repeating itself. The trajectory of the same people getting rich, the same people leaving, they leave, they put in their children, because those are the only ones who have been able to achieve or to assess the kind of learning and skill the leadership requires.
Amazing. One of my take-homes from your submission is that quality education in Nigeria is more of a privilege,
Exactly.
not a right, a human right. Thank you.
Should be.
As it should be.
Yes.
And basically, people who are tapping or who are benefiting from those privileges are again the rich and the privileged people. Thank you. How is it in Malawi?
Mali,
yes.
So in Mali, it is a bit similar to what she has said. We have both of those types of education, and there are private schools, maybe in bit different from the country. The private schools are those. We are also two categories of private schools. Those who are here just for business, to feeding the gap between governmental schools and those who don't have access to schools. And they are also good quality private schools, which are very expensive, very expensive. So And then, you know, in rural communities, they don't at all get access to good quality education. And we are working on that. That's why we have created a school in a rural community to solve two problems. There are the problems of access and the problem of good quality education. And we are doing it at an affordable price so that their children from local community, rural communities can get access to education. Not just to education, but for that learn about civic education so that they can be involved, you know, in community development.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And now one day we'd like to pay a visit in Malawi and at least pick some experiences on how you do it over there.
You are
Thank
welcome.
you. Yes, assistant.
Okay, I'll be just short because what they said is what is happening in Congo. As I told you, education in Congo is free, but the quality of education it's not that much because there is public school that are free and private school, but there's a lot of private school is just business, and there is just a few private school where there is quality education. So I myself, children from a private school, primary private school and primary public school, even the one that is in public school gets at least quality education because there's a lot of private school they are just making business. So I think since education is free in Congo, we just need to welcome our public school to make just to increase the quality and the way they teach, the way they plan everything at those schools so that the kids can get at least quality education for free. And yeah, that's the thing I have to say.
Thank you very much, our dear panelists, for sharing your observations and your opinions from your respective countries. I think it won't differ. Your opinions don't differ from my opinion. What is happening in Uganda, and one of my take home is that in Africa we have two categories, we have two types. We have the quality education and quantity education. And at least it is our collective responsibility to first understand what does quality education mean, what does quantity education mean, and what do we start with. It is in the stages of education, yes, we should start with quantity, then evolve or upgrade to quality. But we should put this in mind that our leaders and the parents and the stakeholders in education, are they willing? Do they understand the difference? And are we taking the steps, the needed steps to attain the quality education we need in Africa? Because at the end of the day, what matters is, regardless of how much you educate our populace or continent, if we don't invest in quality education, we won't compete on the global market. They're talking about globalization, but are we equipping our next generation with the needed skills, with the needed solutions that can help us to compete favorably? And that's why you find a child from that sort of school, they can't make it to international standards. Why? Because they don't have the quality. So our next question, probably tomorrow or in the evening, it will be more on the qualities, like what are those qualities that qualify education to be quality education or quantity education, and how can we do what we can do without using a lot of budget to improve the situation in our respective countries, without blaming our leaders and without even breaking the systems. Thank you very much for watching Teachers TV Africa. Kindly don't forget to subscribe. We have been live at the Marriott Hotel in Washington, D.C. I've been with
Melva from Nigeria.
Jay from Congo.
And Ezekiel from Mali.
Thank you. And our camera person from your name, please?
Adam Muhammad from Central African Republic.
Okay, thank you. That is a very famous name in Uganda.
Okay.
Teacher Peter from Uganda. See you then.
See
God
you.
bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Teacher
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, are you fine?
Doing great things.
Are you fine?
Teacher P.
Yeah, that is Teachers TV Africa for you.
I lost my cake and my brain.